Hello, everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown, and today I would like to give my analysis of the public glee over the shooting of UnitedHealthCare CEO Brian Thompson. Glee, yes, I said glee. This is not a usual response to a murder of somebody. He was shot down going to his conference, uh, and this guy pops up and takes him out, and the police are doing their job searching for this guy and wondering why he did it, and looking for the motive, looking for him, trying to understand this case. It was very, very unusual. um, and I gave yesterday, I did a video on this case. I gave 5 theories of the case. Not that I'm saying one of these theories is more accurate than the other. I just wanted to give people an understanding of what the police were going through in analyzing theories subjectively, not subjectively, objectively. Sorry, subjectively is what I think a lot of people are doing now with their glee over this shooting. Police have to stay objective. Profilers have to stay objective. The public does not have to stay objective. And we're going to get to this. But yesterday I put up 5 theories, and let me just give a real quick one rundown of that, and you can go click on my link below. It's a 20-minute video where I describe more of this. But there were 5 possible theories that I had. 2 were involving a hitman. That would be the wife didn't want him around anymore, so she hired someone to kill him while he was out of town. The second one was he's involved in insider trading, and somebody wants him to keep his mouth shut, so they hire a hitman to kill him. And the words that were written on these casings, deny, and what was the other ones? There's 2 or 3 different things connected to the insurance industry, that it looks like the person who wrote those things was pissed off at the insurance industry, or what I would call the insurance cartel. So you can see I do have a little subjective feelings toward the insurance issue here. But if his wife hired a hit, or if somebody wanted him to shut up about the insider trading, the words written on the casing that would point to somebody pissed off at the insurance industry, that would be just a staged thing, misleading the police. Then the next 2 I came up with, of the 5, were it was not a hitman. It was simply a guy who was pissed off at this guy. One of the reasons could be that his own family didn't get the insurance care that the medical care they needed because of the insurance company. And so he thought, since he was the CEO of this insurance company, that he's responsible for what happened to his loved one. So he took him out, a revenge kind of killing. And therefore, the words that were written on the casings were particularly just from his own emotions and heart. 4th one, that he was doing this as a political statement. So the words he wrote down were, "Hey, these insurance companies and this guy who runs one of these insurance companies need to be taken down. This is my political statement." So that was my number 4. The last one I had, which would also require hitman, would be that he himself hired the hit, that he was up for insider trading, and also lawsuit. Maybe he was a midlife crisis. Everything was falling apart. And sometimes men in midlife crisis, even if they have $10 million a year coming in, maybe what's happening is overwhelming and embarrassing, so they take themselves out. But he didn't want to do it himself. So he said, "Hey, dude, I'm going to hire this guy. When I go to New York, I'm going to tell him exactly what time I'm going to be outside that Hilton hotel. Pop up then, shoot me in the back so I don't see it coming." Okay? Now, that was the 5th one. Now, I don't know which one it is. Even as a profiler, I have my thoughts, which I lean toward, but I was just trying to present the possibilities to people. This one, however, that this guy, it's a political statement. Seems to be fairly young. A lot of people seem to believe this is the reason. It's a political statement by this guy. And they're behind it 100%. So not only is he pointing the gun at Brian Thompson here, but the entire country is going, and they're pissed. And they're pissed at the insurance companies. They're pissed at the medical system. They're pissed at everything to do with how we as American citizens get destroyed financially through the supposed healthcare system. So when I looked at some of the responses, I found it amazing. I've never seen this kind of response before. Even, for example, when Pablo Escobar, the head of the Colombian drug cartel, finally got killed by the police. Some people are like, oh man, I kind of like that guy. Yeah, I know he did bad things, but he was a family man, and he did things for his community, and kind of liked the dude. As a Colombian drug lord, this guy's getting less sympathy than a Colombian drug lord, and less empathy. People are like, yeah, we don't care. We don't care. We don't care that he died. We don't care that he was killed. We don't care. So if this is the motive behind this guy, and even if it isn't, a good portion of the public does not care. I didn't see this in my own comments when I had done my show yesterday. I was looking at it from a very much a profiler point of view, trying to help people understand how detectives and profilers would analyze this case at this point in time. And so that's why I presented the 5 theories for educational purposes. And my comments were, I think it's more leaning this way or that way. I see what the evidence could. But then I went over to Dr. Grande's channel, and I'm looking at the comments, and almost every one of them was zero empathy toward this guy or his family. It's like, screw you, dude. And I'm like, whoa. And then I saw this one come in. This is from, this is a tweet this is Amy Klobuchar. She says, this is a horrifying and shocking act of violence. My thoughts are with Brian Thompson's family and loved ones and all those working at UnitedHealthCare in Minnesota. That's what she wrote. Wow. However, the responses were unbelievable. One of them, I'm just going to read you just one of them, because you're going to have to go there yourself and just, if you want to feel bad for this guy, you think you'll be horrified. If you're not feeling so bad for him, it's a tremendous amount of amusement. Here's one of them. Sorry, thoughts and prayers require prior authorization. This is the kind of thing I see over and over again. And some of them, I'm just going to look through, see if I see some more. This one says, I think it's awesome, really. You're just scared because you feel like if they can get a billionaire, they can get you too. That is really not the main reason. I'm just glad he had coverage for the ambulance ride. Just that part can be crushing. Oh, Lord. I'm denying this claim. He would have wanted me to. This is the kind of stuff. It's unbelievable. The public has come out with almost zero empathy toward his shooting. Now, sometimes when you come to a political kind of issue, what you tend to see is that people will say that the views of the public have encouraged this kind of thing. They've encouraged him to be angry, and therefore he's committed a horrific crime. In this case, I've heard almost nothing about this issue of the hatred toward the insurance companies. I mean, I've seen it, but not in this kind of collective, because usually there's not a good place to make your statements. The media doesn't support it. And you can go on Twitter, and you can X now. You can go on X, you can go on Facebook, you can say this and that, but it's like throwing your comment off a cliff. I recently had a very bad experience with going to the airport. I got TSA pulled me aside after I went through the thing and got x-rayed. They pulled me aside because there was a red box over my groin. And I was told that they were going to feel me up. They were going to sexually assault me by cupping my groin. Now they said, oh yeah, we're only going to feel the back of it. Oh, that's nice. It makes me feel better. They asked if I would like to go into a private room. And I said, hell no, I want you to do it right here in front of all these people. I want you to sexually assault me right here. And I'm thinking of women who've been through sexual assault before, women who've been raped. I'm thinking of women who are from cultures that would find being felt up by another person just something they can't even fathom. And people said to me, "Oh, well, it was a woman." So what? Oh, because women now are totally heterosexual, never lesbian. And a guy who gets felt up, he gets felt up by a dude. And yeah, people are saying, "My God, the guy just like grabbed my junk." This is acceptable in the middle of a public situation in an airport? Well, lots of people have made statements. I made my statement on X. I did a video of it, as a matter of fact. Do I hear any great response? No. The whole concept of the TSA having governmental permission to sexually assault you is pretty much not heard. During the do you remember the mortgage crisis? When supposedly people were being saved, their homes, they had a chance to get their homes saved by going through these programs. Oh yeah, I had Nation Star. Nation Star robbed me blind. I sent in my mortgage payment. They claimed they didn't get it. I sent it in certified, and they claimed they didn't get it. There was nothing I could do because you'd have to get an attorney, and it cost you a fortune. So then they put you into foreclosure. Then they play another game. Tons of people lost their homes and a huge amount of money during this whole mortgage debacle with a supposed opportunity to save your home that were complete lies. But we don't hear about that. Even I went to this attorney general, didn't do any good. There was no place to shout out. So the mortgage debacle, the complete fraud, the massive amount of money stolen from American citizens during the mortgage crisis just vanished. TSA, people are complaining about it, but nobody's listening. So here we have people have been complaining about the insurance problems in our country, in the US, for a very long time. I mean, we can't afford to go to the doctor. We can't afford to go to the hospital. People sit outside. As a matter of fact, I've recommended this to people. If you have let's say you're having an asthma attack, don't go into the emergency room, just sit outside. See whether you need to go in, sit in your car right outside. So if you get to the point where you have no choice, you can run in. But otherwise, if it subsides, you can go home before you have to pay the ridiculous fee that's going to cost you going in there. Insurance is unaffordable. People who have Medicare, it doesn't pay enough unless you pay all these extra things. So you get Medicare, but oh, by the way, you got to add all these other plans on if you want to be covered. Recently, I went to urgent care. Now, I rarely see a doctor. I haven't seen a doctor since. I don't get regular checkups. I'm one of those weirdos. 1990 was the last time. But I had a pain between my shoulders, interscalpular pain. And although I thought it might be kind of like I was eating like crap, it might be a gallbladder thing, I was concerned because women can have this symptom for heart attack, between the pain between their shoulders. And I thought, okay, everybody's going to yell at me. I should at least go in and just get a stupid EKG. All right. I knew that if I got the EKG, it's probably going to come back normal. And even if it does come back normal, there is still the tiny possibility that I could have had a previous minor heart attack. It's not showing up. I already knew all this stuff before I went in to the urgent care place. I called them up, say, how much does it cost? I was told $100 for the EKG. Good. Oh, I'm okay with that. They told me $175 for the first visit for the new patient. And I'm like, yeah, I know that it's completely a joke because they're never going to ask me any questions that have anything to do with me being a new patient. That's just nonsense. But okay, $275, Medicare will pick up some. I go there, get the EKG, comes back normal. Doc says to me, you need to go straight to the hospital. Because even though the EKG came back normal, it could be this small percentage that you still could have had a heart attack. You should go to the hospital and get this done. I said, okay, I already knew that before I came. And if I was going to do that, I would have already gone to the hospital and not wasted my time here. But I understand why you're telling me this, but I'm leaving. And then he wrote in the instructions or description that I had agreed to go to the hospital, which was a complete lie. But all right, whatever. So I get my bill. The bill should have been for $275, but the bill was for $500. I'm like, what the hell is the extra? $225. You know what it was for? It was for high-level medical analysis. I'm like, What high-level medical analysis are we talking about? Because all I saw was a thing called CYA, cover your ass. He told me I should go to the hospital because, I'll get sued. If I went home and died, you get sued. I didn't have a problem with him telling me that. But why the hell am I paying $225 for him to tell me that? That's no high level anything. That's complete freaking fraud. He should have charged me the same amount, $175, just because he said go to the hospital. How do you charge me $225 extra dollars? I refuse to pay it. I've already written them a letter. I haven't heard back. I will then go to Medicare, who probably won't care. We are in a system, an insurance system. The AMA is involved in this, and the insurance companies and the doctors. Everybody's all in collusion to charge the most ridiculous amount of money for just about anything. And you, as a consumer, have no choices. And can you imagine going into a grocery store and purchasing a bunch of groceries with no prices? You get to the counter and they say, we're still not going to tell you the price. You're just going to sign this document. You're going to pay for it. You're looking down going, looks like about $125 worth of stuff. You get home and about a month later, you get a bill. And the bill is for $2,500 for those groceries. You're like, what the hell? There's no way that costs that. But you have no recourse. So you apply to your grocery insurance company and they say, too bad. And there's nothing you can do. That's the system we're in. And that's why there's zero empathy for this guy, Brian Thompson, who makes $10 million a year while we all struggle trying to pay our damn medical bills. People, they say, how much money do you have to save to retire? I'm 69 years old. I don't have millions of dollars in the bank or $1 million. I have some money in the bank. And it's enough money for me to survive the rest of my life if I don't have medical bills that screw me over to the point where within a year, every penny I have saved is gone. Then what? And that's what people are suffering from. People cannot pay those medical bills. It's outrageous. And it's not just because, there's going to be political arguments, whether we should have Medicare for all or whatever. The problem is because some of those countries that have complete coverage of medical stuff also have a terrible system where people can't even get any kind of help for a year. So they fly to India and get it done there because India is pretty cheap for medical stuff for foreigners. And so they fly to India and get it taken care of because they can't wait out the time in the UK or in Canada. These other places, I suppose, they have these great systems. The problem is the outrageous prices of everything in the medical system and the legal issues. The fact that a lot of times they recommend 10 different tests just because they don't want to get sued. So you're paying for the cover your ass stuff, which is all caused by the insurance companies, which this dude is a CEO of. That's why the hate is out there. That's why this is a weird situation where the hate of insurance companies and the whole medical system it didn't cause, if that's this guy's motive, it didn't cause it. This guy doing this has brought out a place for the American public to actually say, we understand if this guy did it wrong, though it is, it's illegal, it's a murder. But if he did do it for the political reasons of we Americans are fed up with the insurance cartels. He's worse than Pablo Escobar, in many people's opinion. He is a cartel boss. He's an insurance cartel boss who causes people to suffer and die and go broke while he's living his $10 million a year mansions. So even though what he did was wrong, what he's brought out is the rage of the American public. And so they're backing this guy. Not that they're saying he should get away with it, but they understand if that's why he's doing it, although it would take still psychopathy for a guy to decide to commit this crime. I'm still going to say he's got to be off the streets. Understand there's a difference between the legal aspects. You cannot, if that's his reason. Now, I have given 5 different scenarios, and that's only one of the scenarios. But whatever the scenario is, he's committed a crime. He needs to be put away because you cannot commit crimes like this and can't allow people just to get away with it because of sentiment. But do I understand why there's a whole pile of people out there saying this? That's why he did this, for the reasons that he's sick to death of what he's doing to our families and our nation and all the people we love. We don't feel that bad about what he did. We don't. We do not empathize with this guy. We empathize with this guy. It's brought out that rage, and it's across the board and I love it, because it's about time that the American public gets to speak out and somebody can actually hear it about the insurance cartels in our country, because that's what they are. They're insurance cartels. And I usually don't speak out on political things, but this, I've dealt with this myself, and family members have dealt with this. And I think that there's a lot of types of criminals in the world, and some of them hide behind what's called white collar criminality. When you do what he does with that smile on your face, you're a freaking criminal. You are a white collar criminal. You are a head of a criminal cartel that is supported by the government. And we have a number of different kinds of cartels in this country that aren't just drug cartels. We do have them. And the citizens have to decide how they're going to get control of this kind of thing. That's a whole nother political channel, not mine. But I just want to point out, that's why we see this incredible lack of empathy, which I haven't even seen that with some of the worst criminals. It's amazing to me. Sometimes serial killers get more empathy than this dude. But serial killers, although they're horrifying, and although they have destroyed the lives of maybe 10, 20, 50 families, this guy, people think, has destroyed the lives of hundreds of thousands of families. And that's why you've got the outrage from the entire U.S. It's stunning. I won't call it shocking, but I call it stunning. And I think, maybe it's opened up a line of communications where we can try to do something about a problem that is so serious in this country. It's appalling. It really is. We have some crimes are supported by the government, by the media, by whomever is in power. And it's not one political group or another, by the way, necessarily. It's just people who control mega things, things that we can't even fathom as regular folks. We can't even fathom how that control happens, but we don't have much choice. What do we do? What do you do if you want to get a mortgage? What do you do if you want to go to the hospital? What do you do? You have to function within the system. So sometimes you have to kowtow to it, but that kowtowing is not without risk. You don't have a choice. So you do it, and you pray like hell that you're not the one who's going to get stabbed in the back. And of course, depending on how much money you have, is whether you get stabbed in the back. Now, interesting enough, sometimes if you have low income, very low income, you can get Medicaid and you get everything covered 100%. If you're really rich, you don't get, you can pay for anything. It's the people in the middle that get screwed, and that's true with the mortgage situation as well. That what do you do? And now we have, a lot of other issues that, and I just said, this is not a political channel. I don't want to get into all that. But the reason there's no empathy for this guy, and I mean, almost no empathy, it's, again, stunning, if not shocking, stunning, is because if this guy did it for the reason that he thought he was the head of an insurance cartel, an insurance cartel that harmed more people than the cartel of Pablo Escobar in Colombia, then they're like, yeah, we can't really blame the dude for shooting him down. And we don't feel that bad about it. Anyway, just my thoughts on this today, because I've been looking at all the comments. So anyway, that's it. I'll put a link below the previous one I did on the 5 theories I have, because we don't yet know what this guy's motive was for the crime, whether that was it or not, or whether one of the other four theories are also could be true. But I think no matter which one is true, I think the public is rooting for a guy who took him down because he's the head of an insurance cartel. He's the Pablo Escobar of insurance in America. Anyway, thank you for being here. If you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. And I'll see you. Well, I'll see you when I find out more about what the heck is going on with this case, what the evidence is going to show us. I think they're going to catch this guy, and we're going to find out what his motive was. Thank you very much.